All right, let's go ahead and finish Exodus chapter 19. Exodus 19, starting in verse 7. Moses goes back. He summons the elders. The Lord has said in verse 9, I am coming down to you in a dense cloud. I'll speak to you. People will hear my voice, but they won't see me. They'll always put their trust in you because I'm building up your authority in their presence. He says you need to consecrate all the people today and tomorrow, because on the third day, the Lord will come down, this is verse 11, on Mount Sinai in the sight of all the people. You better put limits up. Don't you touch that mountain. Anybody who comes close is going to be killed. This is the fear of God. I think what we've lost today, the world today has gravitated more toward the love of Jesus rather than the fear of God. And I think you need both, right? So grace, love of Jesus, wonderful, fantastic. But what we've lost in the church is the fear of God. And so what have we done? Out of love, out of grace, we have essentially torn down some of the boundaries that have been set, and we allow all kinds of sin to take place because we're saying, well, what's the most loving thing? So we've given up the fear of God out of an overemphasis on his grace. But here we see the boundaries put up. There's a warning. Anyone who comes close on holy ground will be put to death. Wash the clothes, consecrate yourselves, abstain from sexual relations. Now, next couple of verses, we're going to see a prophetic picture of the rapture. So same imagery, same language that's used of the coming rapture of the church. When we know there's going to be a rapture, nobody ever disputes that. They just dispute when it's going to take place. Before anything bad happens, the tribulation, 7-year period. Everybody agrees it's going to be a 7-year period. Does the rapture occur before the 7-year period, sometime during the 7-year period, or at the end of the 7-year period, the last 7-year period of Earth's history, before the permanent return of Christ? But the language is the same. Verse 16, on the morning of the third day, there was thunder and lightning. There was a thick cloud. There was a loud trumpet blast. Everyone in the camp trembled. So when Jesus comes back, it is the cup of trembling. The Old Testament talks about this. There's many different names for the day of the Lord. The people came out of the camp to meet with God. They stood at the foot of the mountain. Mount Sinai is covered in smoke because the Lord descends. So God comes down, the Lord descends. Same language, same imagery. It's the rapture. Smoke billows up as the smoke from a furnace. The whole mountain trembles violently. I would argue that the furnace that's still open, where the demonic locusts come out during the last 5 months of the tribulation period, that's probably still open, which is the direct shaft to hell. When Jesus comes back, he's going to separate the sheep and the goats. So I think it's going to be a time of judgment. You see that imagery here. The whole mountain trembles violently. Verse 19, the sound of the trumpet grows louder and louder. What does Paul say? At the last trumpet call, the Lord will descend. Those who are still remaining will be caught up to meet the Lord in the air. What happens here? Verse 20, the Lord descends on top of the mountain. What does he tell to Moses? So Moses went up. God comes down, Moses goes up. When? There's the voice of God, verse 19, and at the sound of the trumpet. And verse 24, go down, bring Aaron up with you. They're about to receive the 10 Commandments in chapter 20. And there's just continual warnings about the people that they might not perish. Just go down, warn them. And he's essentially installing the fear of God into the hearts of the Hebrew people. But this imagery, we'll just stop there. This imagery, I think, gives us a picture to an extent, in a general sense. It's very similar to the rapture. As God comes down to meet with the people, he calls them up. The voice of God, the trumpet blast, judgment imagery. And that closes out chapter 19. So again, I think we should just focus on the fear of God, which has been lost. And that's my prayer today, is that Lord would balance us out between his love and grace and the fear of God, so that we would have a balanced heart before the Lord. And we wouldn't be tempted to be too legalistic, because grace balances. We wouldn't be tempted to be too permissive, because we've got the fear of God. That's my heart today, and that's our prayer request. All right? Till next time, God bless.